Hey, welcome to Cooking in the Garage. Today we're making pasta carbonara. Okay, welcome to Cooking in the Garage. Today we're gonna make a classic carbonara. Everybody has their own version. I'm not Italian. This is my version. I hope you like it. It's basic, it's simple, it's quick, and super tasty. There's bacon in there, there's cheese, there's eggs, and pasta. I'm not a gluten guy. I kind of eat gluten-free, so I use gluten-free pasta. Why? Because glutens are great, but too much will make you feel full. It's not the healthiest. I'm not so in it. The gluten-free pasta is really nice. It's a lot lighter, more digestible. You'll notice it if you give it a try. And also we're making a little salad to go with it because only carbs and fats and proteins isn't the healthiest. To start today, you want some boiling water pasta. That's probably the part that takes the longest. Also, a little tip on the gluten-free pasta, it always takes a bit longer to boil. They say in a package probably 8 to 10 minutes. Mostly it won't be cooked. So take your time to cook it and make it al dente. It takes probably a bit longer than regular pasta. So the water is boiling, our pan is hot, and we're gonna fry some of the bacon. And we all love to fry bacon. So we're gonna fry the bacon into little crispy bits. So the fat comes out, which also is a little base of the sauce. The sauce is just consisting of the bacon fat, eggs, and cheese. As we fry the bacon, we're gonna put in some salt of the boiling water. Everybody knows pasta and boiling water and a lot of salt makes for a good pasta. Stir it through quickly. And our bacon is frying. This is fair enough bacon, probably like 3, maybe 4 portions. If you're a bacon lover, it could be 2 portions, but you don't want it too much in there. Just listen to the sound of the bacon. And the smell is always, yeah, lovely. Make them nice and crispy. Some go really far when you like have these little hard bits. I like them sort of in between. So we have some water boiling. We grab our pasta. This is a 500 gram. That's a lot of pasta. It's also a pretty heavy dish, so I'd like to keep them a bit light. Not too much pasta. Today we're making, say, for 2 people. So we would take, this is 500 gram, we say not a little less than half. Yep. Classic trick, getting it even in there. And now we wait for the boiling. Let's put it on the higher heat. The bacon is looking fine. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. So here, look, you can just push it in. The softer it gets, boiling away. So now we're gonna make the base of the sauce, which is pretty much the eggs, the bacon, and the cheese. A lot of people only use the egg yolk. I don't. I use whole eggs. That means you're making a sauce. Why not use the egg whites? Another tip: if you're buying organic eggs, they always have this on there. Why is that? It says it consists of a small egg, a medium egg, and a large egg. So it's a mix. The sticker can also say only large. Then you only have big eggs. This is in a cheaper supermarket, they'll have this choice with a bit of everything. So I always grab the box and I know exactly by weight if there's large or small eggs in there. I'm the nerd that will actually grab a few boxes to make sure I get the big eggs. So today I can feel there's a lot of medium in there. And as you can see, they are pretty medium. These are actually a small one, but you kind of want them to all be like this because then you have more value for your money. They're pretty small, so normally I would take 4 eggs if they're all kind of this size. Today I'll make 5. I like a bit of egg in there. Some people make it a little less. It's up to you. So let's crack some eggs. Hopla. You can also see how big the yolk is, how big the egg is. There you go. There's some eggs in there. Right, we're having a little look at the pasta. You can still see it's like not cooked because it has like, it's pretty firm. You want it to be a little looser. And also stir your pasta so you don't have them sticking together. Loosen it up a bit. Pull it out. There we go. Okay, that's going how we want it to go. You can also see with the gluten-free, it does get a little bit more murky, the water. That's just the corn where it's made of. There's no worries. I whisker the eggs first with the egg whites, my style. Just whisk it like an omelette. Also, I think it's just a waste throwing away the egg whites. I mean, maybe if you want to make some dessert to keep them for that, that's great. But most people won't do that. So I just use the whole egg. It's a beautiful organic egg. Why would you waste something just to have a yellow, flavory, whatever? Flavor is already bacon, cheese, and egg. So I think we won't be doing anything wrong by using the white stuff. All right, we'll eat. I always use all the grease in there. Don't rinse anything. Add them in. Stir it up a bit. The idea is your sauce will, you're kind of cooking it. You're gonna make it au bain-marie, so the egg is gonna cook, but slightly. You don't want it overcooked. You don't want scrambled eggs. You want it to be at a certain degrees where it's like, it looks like a sauce. Okay, so now we'll grate some cheese. Definitely use the smallest one. This is way too much. This is nice. It will be like nice and small. It will just like emulsify. Now it will like enhance the sauce by being small, and there's no chunks of cheese in there. It's also definitely melting a little bit. So yeah, so the Parmesan is a nice raw milk cheese. It has a very salty, in Holland we say old cheese, a more cured cheese. Yeah, it's an old, nice raw milk cheese. Everybody loves Parmesan. It's not like a fungus cheese where it kind of overrules. Just very clean cheese taste. All right, so now we're gonna go au bain-marie and heat up the egg. You don't want to cook the egg, but you just want to heat it up, because you can't throw in the pasta like this. The egg will be too raw and it won't be cooked. It needs to be cooked, but it also needs to be a bit saucy. So here, if you break the pasta, you would like a little white bit in there. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. There's a tiny little bit, means it's al dente. If you're using normal pasta, that's what you want. So we need to au bain-marie it a little bit. This will take maybe like 5 minutes. You just want it to heat up, so when the hot pasta comes in, it all sort of cooks in there. But you want it a little bit like more than room temperature, like sort of 60 degrees. So the pasta is ready. We're gonna drain it now. Put a little bit of water in here. We got this guy. So now we're back at the au bain-marie. The heat is warming up the bowl where the sauce is in. Start cooking it. We have our pasta ready. We'll add the cheese. We mix the cheese in. Look, as you can see, it's already cooking a little bit. So as you look at the sauce now, before it was a bit more see-throughy egg-wise. Now it's starting to look like cooked egg, but it's still saucy. We don't have scrambled bits. Now we put in the hot pasta and we mix it in. Okay, today I used quite a bit of egg, so we definitely have a saucy one today. Okay, this is perfect. So now we're making the salad to add to the carbonara, so we're eating some veg too. First we put some olive oil in. Get a nice little base. The fat of the olive oil with the bitterness of the rucola is a match made in heaven. We add a pinch of salt and some black pepper. If you're a guy that's into sour, you can use a lot of vinegar or just a little bit, it's up to you. We mix it a bit. Okay, dressing's ready. We add some tomatoes, just by half, easy. Lovely cherry tomatoes. And we're gonna use a tiny bit of fennel for a little bite. You could use like a red onion, something like that, fennel. And just very thinly take off the top bits, not so nice. We add it to the bowl. We add some rucola. And I also like some herbs in my salad, so we're adding some parsley, just roughly cut. So really just have parsley taste in there. We mix it with the dressing. Easy does it. Look how beautiful. Let's use this bowl and we have a little side salad to go with it. And now we can plate it up. We have our salad ready. And look at this fat guy. Beautiful, heavy little pasta dish. There we go. I think this will be a great portion. There we go. We have a beautiful carbonara. And on the side we have some rucola, fennel and tomato salad. Who doesn't love bacon, cheese and eggs?